Oh, hi, it's Ayesha here. Two topics I want to talk about today. One, helping the homeless. Be careful. Not just homeless people, but people who say that they're being beaten up by a boyfriend and they need somewhere to stay. You don't know them very well. I had this happen to me and I let someone stay with me and her 4 children. And I'd only just moved into this house. She befriended my computer worker, technician, and basically between the two of them decided to try and destroy me after I had helped her. She stayed with me for 2 weeks and never paid a penny towards anything, and I fed her and everything with her children, bought them takeaways, the whole damn shebang. And her children, were very unruly, and the baby vomited everywhere. She left rags with vomit everywhere from this baby. Ants wherever she went, this woman. And that was my experience of really helping someone. And what happened was the police turned up and basically accused me of doing things I hadn't done, and basically then she called social services on me when I had children, and I could have easily lost my children if I didn't have my wits about me. Ended up in a very bad place. And that was through helping someone. So I want to give you my warning on helping people, right? Who are sort of homeless or in between houses, don't have anywhere to stay because their boyfriend's beating them up, or their, boyfriend's into drugs and all the rest of it. As it happens, her boyfriend actually threatened our family. And I found out less than a year later he had a terrible accident and ended up in a wheelchair for the rest of his life. So, looks like he won't be harming anyone from a wheelchair. Not as much, anyway. But that was my experience of helping someone, all right? And this lady dabbled in cards and was very spiritual, very, very charming, very lovely, very nice. In fact, she reminded me of myself. And I thought she could easily have been a sister of mine. She looked like me as well, very similar. So this was my experience, and all I can say is after the police had gone, they turned up the next day and wanted to go around my home after luckily I'd fumigated the place, got rid of her stuff, all the ant stuff, and dumped it at her property, and changed the locks on my office, and she literally helped me with a few things, and I really had to really batten down the hatches really tight to get rid of her. And she actually went around all of the school children's parents trying to smear me as well after everything I'd done for her. So I want to give you an idea of the sort of things that happen when you help people out. And I had to move my children's school from Torquay to a school in Totnes because of this experience. And I didn't live in Totnes, but a very, very close friend of mine did. And I said, we need to get the children into Totnes now. And I said, I live with you now, don't I, dear? And we put the children into school there. So that became the new setup for me. But what extreme efforts I had to go to get away from psychopathic, stalkery, Klingon wannabes who want to destroy you, And if they're, having problems in their relationships, with drug boyfriends or whatever, what you've got to ask is this a recurring problem? Who's the problem? Where's the problem coming from? I mean, obviously you're not in that relationship, so you can't always see. And people are so charming. Oh, goodness me. They are so charming. And all I can say is my life became a drama, and it went on for about 3 or 4, 6 months. My roller coaster ride was really intense and white knuckle ride. And it was a holding on to my life with everything I had. It was very, very hellraiser scary, actually. When the boyfriend threatened my family as well. And the threat he made was, to really harm my children and I. I won't say what he said he was going to do, but it's the stuff of horror films. And then, as I say, that's what happened to me. And there really isn't a name for this type of crime. But I have a friend in America, and she's just helped out some homeless people. And they stole from her. And so there was a recent incident where I helped out someone. He looked like he couldn't get into his apartment. So I invited him to mine to come and use the phone, and I'd help him. Well, that was the biggest mistake I made. I let him into my house. Then it was how to get rid of him. It was difficult. I gave him £50 to go and sort out his electric and get himself into his apartment, and gave him some cigarettes and told him to go on his way. He was very intoxicated, and he seemed a nice guy, but I realized how vulnerable I am. And so I want to warn you, because sometimes we don't think, big hearts, And then later that day, he buzzed my buzzer and he said, "Oh, can I use your shower, please? Because I haven't got any hot water." I said, "Oh, no, sorry, no. I'm not having someone coming in my place shower." I said, if you've got problems, then you need to speak to your landlord, really. I said, maybe go to your mum's house or your sister or your brother or one of your family, I don't know you. And then it was, "Can I have some cigarettes?" I said, "Oh, no, sorry. I think if you need cigarettes, there's a shop down the road. You can buy some cigarettes from the shop." And I had to take quite a firm stance with it. And I recognized that it seemed quite cold, but I just wanted to shut that door because I started to feel a bit frightened. But I realized that in this downward sort of catastrophic destruction of your life, when you're a targeted individual, is you're very humbled. And you relate to a lot of these guys because you're basically on your way down there. In the destruction of your life, there's no one there for you. And so you want to be there for those that need you. And so what I'm warning you about is to help those from a distance. So you can cook a meal for the homeless and drop it in. There's plenty of centres actually in England. The council will tell you where the homeless centres are, and you can take meals and cook pizza and do bacon sandwiches and drop them off. And you can do it anonymously, But I have found several times helping the homeless beyond just giving them a few pounds or a couple of cigarettes can really lead to problems in your own life. So I want to just make you aware of that. There was a guy I helped some years ago. And it was when I was getting a new office and he'd helped me decorate it, and I fed him every day and I paid him And then I found him accommodation. And then he invited all his homeless friends to the new accommodation and wrecked it for himself and for everyone else there. And then finally he killed himself on an overdose. And he was always begging. Even when I'd found him accommodation, he was always begging for money. And another time I've been helping people, one guy, and I'd been talking to him regularly on the street, homeless guy. And then the police said, he's not homeless. I said, really? They said, no, he's got a place. He has got a place. He shouldn't be here begging. I said, oh, okay. So, don't know if that's the case, but, just be careful, because the homeless, normally they can get shelter with the government, emergency shelter. Yes, some of it may be not so savory characters in their place, but if you keep yourself to yourself, I'm sure it'll be okay. At least it's a bed for the night. But they don't house dogs. So people with pets who are homeless really aren't going to get any help from them. But if you are homeless, then it might be difficult to have a pet anyway. So then we need to think. I mean, if I was homeless, I wouldn't have a pet. My priorities would be get myself some shelter and get myself back onto a sort of an even keel as soon as possible. And then maybe think about a pet in the future. But then also the same with houses. I don't look, like if I was looking to move, I wouldn't go and look at a place and then say, oh, the bedroom's the wrong size because my bed won't fit in it. I'd just get rid of the furniture and buy a bed that fitted the bedroom. That's where I'm different. So I think it's better actually to sell all your furniture, most of it, and just start again when you move. It's nicer, and you end up buying furniture, or just take key pieces from the old place for the new place. I can't afford it. Well, you just buy it second hand. That's all you do. Sell your stuff second hand, buy new stuff second hand. Easy peasy, So, I mean, in my old house, I had just a couch for a long time and a TV. And that was that. And then I did the bedroom, but I had it just like that, very bare, for a very long time. Because, things were difficult. It was a really big house as well. And it had sea views. And I didn't have any furniture for a good couple of years, for the first 2 years there. So this is what happens, So I just want to talk about that. So just be careful when you're helping people. And I know your heartstrings are pulled and you want to help them. But the best thing you can do is give them a Bible and pray for them and encourage them to find Jesus. That's the best thing, because that will help them in this life and the next. And if you want to give them something, cigarettes are very, very needed by these guys. Cigarettes for sure. And yeah, I've come across homeless before, and if they're in that way, getting drunk is probably a good place for them. It'll help them. It may help them. And you're not going to be able to stop them getting drunk. It's better than getting on drugs. So, I've bought them some wine before, a couple of bottles of wine. I said, here you go, have a nice merry night, But, inviting strangers and people into your home as a targeted individual, I've noticed this is something that occurs. There's another lady I know in America who had befriended some targeted individuals who often end up homeless, and let them come and stay with her. And she had very big problems after this. I reckon a lot of targeted individuals come under attack for doing too much in that environment, because I came under attack after being quite involved with the homeless shelter. And I think you've got to look at who you're surrounding yourself with as well. So I just want to point my thoughts out. I like the homeless and I want to help them. But we've got to also, if you're a targeted individual or a single woman, you've got to really think about protecting yourself. There was a man I met in the baker, and he was into radios and walkie-talkies and all sorts of nice things, just like me. And I was saying, I'm going to cook up something for the homeless. And he said, just you be careful. Don't you? Oh, no, that was it. I was getting some pasties. And I said, I said to him later, I said I gave them to the homeless. Because they were on special, £1 each. So I bought them for the homeless. And he said, you be careful. You don't get yourself too involved with those guys, because you can get yourself into trouble. And I said, no, I thought, that's a bit mean. But then I thought, actually, he was being careful. And actually, I think we all need to be a bit more careful. Because if you're too kind and generous, especially as a single woman, then you can get yourself roped into things. And so I just wanted to make you aware of what I thought of that. And the other thing I want to talk about is when, because all the gang stalkers have girlfriends, and the gang stalking women have boyfriends. How do you know if you're dating a gang stalker? Well, gang stalkers don't like commitment. Gang stalkers like to be the big shot. They tend not to have a lot of money all the time. They have it, they lose it, they have it, they lose it. A bit like a gambler. Up and down, up and down. With their moods as well. They're often involved in drugs. And they're jealous. The jealous types. And they don't really have any feelings. If you're dating one of them, they'll want to call you a friend with benefits. They'll never call you a girlfriend. Because they enjoy the stimulation of causing pain. And that's what they fill their heart with. They enjoy it. It's like their warmth. They're evil inside. And they will have a child with somebody, but not live with them, so that the government will keep the woman. And he can have his own apartment as well. And that way he can have his sort of part-time dad role. See his son or child or daughter, and have his thing on the side, which he'll call friend, with benefits. Those are your usual gang stalking men. Just to give you an idea. The lower level. The higher level are more still very detached. Won't sympathize with you if you cry. Same sort of thing. Won't have any feelings. Will tell you that you're the girlfriend. Will tell you that they plan things, but will then also gaslight you. And they'll have read what they call The Game. It's a book called The Game, on how to destroy a woman's character and totally annihilate her confidence by playing mind games with her. So those are your sort of gang stalkers. They would tell you that they're planning on leaving you in a funny sort of way. They will sort of hint at things, but they won't really say it. They'll half say things, and they would move things around. They're the sort of people who leave the gas on when they go away. So, or come in the house when you're asleep and switch the gas on. Secretly want to kill you, but they're actually your boyfriend. This sort of, because I've experienced this. All right. So, but if you're in love with somebody, you can't see this until afterwards, so you're blinded, you know. Love is blind, isn't it? But for a woman, one of the ways you can tell is that the person is secretive. There's always a blame game for their life problems. And there'll always be a psychopath ex-girlfriend. Always. The ex-wife will be a psycho. Then if you date them, afterwards you'll become the psycho. So those are psychopaths. The men are the psychopaths, but they've got to pass the blame on. And they often don't have photographs in their houses or anything of personal memorabilia of the family. And there's obviously some type of trauma that's occurred that's made them be this way. I think it's secret hatred of women, I found. I think that's the Masons, though. I think the Masons really hate women. They're very pro-men, aren't they? Actually, the world is really pro-men, isn't it? But there's a lot of them. I've renamed them the Willy Wonka men as well, where they don't want you to have any friends. They don't want you to see your family. They tell you that no one loves you, only they love you, and that you're not good enough, and that you're so lucky to have them, and they'll put you down. But they'll do it gradually. They won't want you to wear certain things when you go out in case you attract too much attention. They're not showy off type people. They're very secretive, quiet. The quiet ones are the dangerous ones. Charming, very charming, but quiet. Don't like. They're very jealous as well of anyone that is more successful. And these ones are, because they're quiet, more dangerous because they sit and take note of all of the things they want to take note of, secretly building the ammunition for the day when they decide to shoot you down from their life and into the pool of cesspit of destruction. And that then, when the destruction button has been pressed, then they'll just keep compiling. And if you ever retaliate, then this is the sort of person that will come after you, for sure. There was someone I dated years ago, and this girl and I got into a scrap in the bathroom, and she told me that this boy I was dating, had been doing stuff with her, and I didn't believe her. Anyway, I told him about it, and that night he went and threw a brick through a window. But I believed him, but I actually found out later that he was a cheater. And he cheated with anything that had something between its legs. Don't know if, I think possibly, but maybe did it with men as well as women now. Because these sort of people would do it with women and men and animals. These sort of Satanist people, by the way, they eat their own young. They do. They have babies just to eat them. And they have children just to destroy the child. They marry women to destroy them. These are evil people. They're all part of the gang stalking operation. They're born evil. They have evil intent. And so I'm just trying to give you some pointers. The other thing they like is hunting. But if they're not into the sort of, maybe they're rich but rough. Yeah, that's an interesting one. Rich but rough, rough background. They will like their rhyming slang. They'll probably be into their football, maybe a bit of reggae, seem real cool, but cold as ice on the heart. Yeah. If ice could cook, this one would cook you so that you were well and truly winter tailored to smithereens. So, I just wanted to give you my summary on that. So, often if you're in one of these relationships, it's like a pot on the boil, slowly cooking, and you don't notice. But there'll be telltale signs, like money that they can't account for, meeting their friends every Friday. That's another one. A Friday nighters, or twice a week going out and meeting the guys, going to the gym, dear. See you later. Always got dinner dates with mummy. Mummy's always got to come and clean for them. This is often a satanic cult sign. Mummy's tired. Often get that with the really rich ones. And the other one is that they, never really make the same effort with you. And when you meet their friends, they'll refer to you as a floozy. So then you'll know that they've been discussing you in a derogative fashion. So always listen to what the friends say about you when you meet them. All right? These are just pointers. I'm 52. Is it 52? 51 this year. With bags and bags of experience. So I'm just giving it to you, ladies, on, men. And be careful drinking around certain men, because then they'll tell you that you did certain things you didn't do as well. So I've had that happen, and I thought, did I do that? I thought, I'm going to drink this time. I'm going to secretly put lemonade in my alcohol, so I'm sober. And in the morning, we'll see what he says I've been up to. And yeah, sure enough, there were tall tales, for sure. And I was like, and I say, well, none of that happened. Oh, yes, it is. You just don't remember. You were too drunk. I said, no, I wasn't. I had lemonade. But, people will gaslight you. This is the thing. So you need to be careful, because often your enemy can be right next to you in bed. And he's actually the someone who wants to destroy you. And I've noticed there's so many single women. And I think you're all victims of these sort of men. Because they just go on and have more children with more women. Have you noticed that? Or they'll never commit to you. And they'll never do anything like post anything on Facebook. I've known so many women that have dated men and they've been so into them. And years have gone by and there's nothing on Facebook. Then he dumps her or she dumps him and they finished. And then within a week, he's got himself a new bird and it's all over Facebook. And this is his girlfriend. And she's got the girlfriend title, whereas the one before didn't, So this is how you can tell a gang stalker. Okay? Because actions. It's the actions. The activities. The funny group meetings, the leaving, going to the gym. A lot of them are gym goers. Okay, yeah. They go to the gym to meet the boys. They go to the pub to meet the boys. They go to the football to meet the boys. Boys' night. Yeah. And they've always got texts and phone calls from the boys. Yeah, because it's their organization. This is the things I've noticed, and I've come to know them as gang stalkers now. So some of these guys are quite powerful people, might be accountants with something like 12 children, lots of family. Then you really got to be careful, because all their little family have all got their own little businesses, and yeah, that's like, a nasty gang stalking operation, that one. I know of one like that in Torquay. Might give you some power to know who he is. The word power might give you an idea of who I'm talking about. Okay, so yeah, you might just be a bit more mindful who you let into your life, who you trust. Also, often I think they work in call centers, and they will get the call center gang stalkers to phone you to pretend to be from O2 or from EE, to pretend to sell you a phone deal, getting your details, or that you've got PPI, and then they get your name, your mother's maiden name, your previous, where you've lived before, and this is how they hijack your identity. Okay, because I've had that happen to me. So one of the guys worked at a company called My Claims Solved, and the manager there was involved in all of this kind of stuff, from my understanding. And and there was a lot of youngsters that worked there who worked for my solar company later, and so there was a lot of connections to this company that did the PPI, which is like no win, no fee, credit card, have you been oversold, insurance, and all those things. And I'd given them all my details. And once somebody's got all those details, then this is dangerous, because they can clone your identity very easily. If they know where you live, then they send in the crew, and it all happens, right? So this is the operation as I've identified it. And if you notice, Financial Conduct Authority regulates financial traders and advisors and banking, but it doesn't regulate PPI. Now, the whole purpose of the FCA is to regulate the information, what is going to the banks and coming out of the banks, out from the customer. But with PPI, there's a loophole, you see. And you're always getting calls, aren't you, and texts. I am. Oh, would you like a new phone, madam? And then you think, yeah, actually, that could be quite nice. And then next thing you know, you're giving all your information away, and you find out that they weren't a real company. So that's another one they'll do if they want to put you on the list. The other thing is you'll get loads and loads of phone calls from loads and loads of funny numbers. That's a sign that you've got a gang stalker. And I know youngsters that have this, and that because their father is a gang stalker. Yeah. And he's destroyed the mother, and now he's trying to destroy one of the children that took the mother's side, because he's a gang stalker. These are people who eat their own children. As you can tell, I have incredible disdain for them. I've asked God to deal with them, because I really don't want them to go to hell. I don't. So I've prayed for them that they'll have a chance to pay for their crimes here. Repent now before they go to hell. But to intentionally do those things makes somebody very evil. I'm not quite sure whether people that evil are convertible. Like, can they be converted from being so evil to being nice? I don't know. God will know though. And I hate them, sorry. But God hates people too. And if you read Psalm 69, it's Jesus going on about them giving him vinegar and he wants their destruction. And I'm following Psalm 69 from now on. That's the one I go with. Bring down your wrath on the nations that are doing this, Lord. Please, I need your help. These guys are evil. But very good at acting. Incredibly charming. Butter couldn't melt. Very full of pizzazz. And they're quite friendly, so you really think, oh, it's so nice, But you just be careful of those who make the friendships. Oh, yeah, that's the other one. People who move in relationships real quick. Just be real careful of those, because those are the ones that bite quick and leave you quick as well. And if you've ever been in a relationship and you've had your heart broken by one of these guys, I want you to know that God saved you. He saved you from that. Okay? Because he separated you. Now he's going to let you see them for what they are. The only way you'll see what they are is when they come up against you and they start doing to you what they've been doing to others that you might not have noticed. So a lot of the girlfriends don't realize that they're dating these guys that are gang stalkers. Okay? It's only really when the relationships come to an end that they come to find out that this guy's quite a nasty character, actually. Oopsie daisy. But then once you've come out of that, then you might see his next relationship and the one after that and see what he does to those ones too. And you'll go, oh yeah, he really does stalk them, doesn't he? Oh God. And a stalker is like that. They get a fix out of stalking people and destroying people. It's the haters. It's the same, But this is a bit more with the gang stalking. This is where we recruit people in to participate in a person's fix, if you like, on the destruction of someone. And then it becomes a habit. And once it's a habit, then it becomes a fix. And then the fix needs to be higher. It's like a high. And so it's like a drug. So start with marijuana, then you need something a bit stronger. So it's not just about breaking hearts anymore. This is about torturing people. Now this is more pleasurable. And then it's also about eating people and drinking children's blood, which is, more of a fix. That's where, this is how it ends up where it is right now with a gang stalking operation on the dark web, where the dark web has now come into every neighborhood. Certainly it's very prominent in my town. It's the Hills of Eyes. It's an evil place. Horrible it is. So, like I say, I've fasted, I've prayed, and I still see the world the same. I've prayed to God about it, that God will do something. But, yeah. Just be, on the lookout. If you've got a funny icky feeling in your tummy, when you get a funny icky feeling, it's like, it's a little bit slippery, it's a bit cold, and it's lukewarm, and it's a fuzzy feeling in the pit of your tummy. It makes you feel like a little bit of a gurge in your throat, and you might feel a bit of wind, and possibly a bit of heartburn at the same time. Sometimes it's that one, or it's a nudge. It's like a little nudging, and it's like like that, and then you forget about it, and then it's like, you're like, God, what is that? That thing's really bugging me. It's like your gut feeling saying, hello, there's a problem here. And also, if you're ever in a relationship with someone and they say something and you go, oh dear, I don't like you, then listen to that. Listen to that, because you're always right. There was a situation where I've had that happen before, and I didn't listen to it, and it was the worst mistake. There was someone I had working for me, and I didn't trust them, and they had a wonky eye, and I just was like, and I thought, no, I'm just being paranoid. And then it was like, and then this person turned out to be a monster, like from the horror films. It was like, oh dear, someone put the brakes on for me, will you? Because that's pretty horrendous. White knuckle ride from hell, courtesy of Mr. Wonky Idol person. So, yeah, trust your gut feeling. If you ever get a funny feeling, listen to it about anything, and pray to God. I've been in situations where I wasn't really sure what to make of the situation, and then I've asked God to deal with it. And I've said, if this person's no good for me and they're just using me, or they're just, wasting my time, can you get rid of them? And then sure enough, a week or two later, they'll be gone. But sometimes God wants you to be the strong one. But if you're in love with somebody, it's very hard to end it, even if you know that they are using you. And I had that happen to me. And I ended it. And I said to God, now I need your help because my heart's sore. I said, please could you help me so I never think about them again like that. And so I just forget about them, Don't have any feelings for them. And within 5 minutes, this person phoned me and texted me, and they wanted to see me. And I was like, no, sorry, I've moved on. And I didn't feel anything for them anymore. And this is someone I really was in love with. And I thought I'd never get over them. And then by handing it to God, he took all my pain away. And he knew that person had no good intentions. So I ended it. And whenever I get that feeling now about anything, I say, God, can you please deal with that? And I've had it with people I've helped, become very close to, and they've betrayed me. And I've spent sometimes 2 or 3 days crying in bed about it. I found that very good, to get rid of the pain and hand it to God. I'm not made of cardboard. Oh, that's another thing someone was saying about these people. They're like the pod people, because they're not real people. They don't have feelings. They can't have feelings to do this. So just take it that God's protected you. But ask yourself, when next time you in a situation, ask your gut feeling how you feel, and trust your gut feeling. But also ask yourself if you're ready, if you're comfortable. Like, if somebody wants to meet you for lunch and they want to come to your house and you don't want them to come to your house, just say, no, I'm not doing visitors at the moment. I'm having some time out by myself. Or I'm fasting. And that includes fasting from visitors and any of those sort of social gatherings. And I'm pretty much like that full time. While I go through this fasting, praying. And you don't want to allow strange people in your home because they might put things around your house as well. Also, look around your home if you find strange objects like gnomes. This is often witchcraft. gnomes and weird little things they leave around the garden. Even if it's something you think is pretty, just if it's something you haven't put there, get rid of it. That's what I say. Coins is another one. Always leave coins lying around. I always found that with people who don't pay their rent. There's always lots of coins. And I thought, well, there's always coins at these places, but they don't pay their rent. It's interesting, it is. I once was with someone who had so much money. He always had loads of cash in his drawers and in his pockets and in his jackets and in his jeans and in his car. There's always notes, coins. And he had more money than sense. And then he lost all his money, but he still didn't have any sense about money. You know. It's funny, really. But money does make money. It's very interesting, it is. So, yes, it's all about what we want to manifest, apparently. So let's manifest ourselves a new land with the King of Glory, where he rules and we get to learn his Bible and we have freedom and peace and joy and the animals and no one spraying us and no weird phones that track us, just beautiful music, harmony. You can see rainbows and flowers and butterflies and little birdies and waterfalls and unicorns and horses and beautiful sheep in the fields and the pastures on the distant hills. And you can hear the farmer's little tractor going. And he's waving at you and he's going, hey, all right. Would you like some vegetables? I've got some vegetables here. Can you sell me a few chickens? Okay. That's what I'd like. And here's some things I made. I sewed some new dresses and I sewed myself a little duvet cover. Would you like to look at it? Oh, that's nice. I'd like to buy one like that. Oh, yes, I could make one like that. How much would he charge me? Oh, well, if you could give me vegetable supplies for 6 months, then I could make a really beautiful silk one, you know. Would you like that? Oh, yes, please. Oh, thank you. Great. So, those are the things I'd like to be doing. Put some pretty little crystal beads all around it to go with those beautiful pink curtains your wife's got. I don't like those pink curtains. Maybe you could make some new ones out of the same fabric. All right, then, I'll put some crystals on. What colour do you like? Oh, I like green and yellow. All right, then. A bit of green, yellow, and blue. All right, then. Perfect. So, yeah. That's what I'm into. So, praise the Lord. I hope you're all having an amazing day. It's Ayesha from godfm. Take care. If you want to find me, you can find me on Podbean, Spotify, Amazon, Samsung, Chrome, YouTube, Apple, X, as well as TikTok, as godfm News, godfm New, godfm Radio, godfm Group, and godfm Media. And as I say, I'm here to talk. If you want to talk, if there's anything you want me to talk about, let me know. If you want to do an interview with me, let me know and I'll do an interview. If you've got a story to tell, I'd love to hear it and I'd love to share it with the world. And if you want me to pray, let me know. I will be doing fasting and I'll be doing dedicated fasting of 4 days and then 3 days eating once I've come out of this fast. So I've come out of this fast, but I'm just going to give myself a few days or a week and then I'll be back on fasting again. All right. God bless you.